Hey guys, Vazzy back here, and in today's video we are going to be starting out our Pittsburgh Penguins franchise mode here on NHL 25. So this will be the first episode where we really do start the sim. Do plan on getting, about half of the season done. Not going to commit either way. We'll have to see where we are sitting at. So I've gone through, I've edited all the lineups, I've made a few adjustments, tried to make us not as top heavy, and we're gonna just have to wait and see how this team performs. I don't know. We could be pretty good. We could be competing for a playoff spot, or we might fall off. And at that point, we're gonna have to deal with it and make some changes. Jari can be a tough one there, making a lot of money for a decent amount of years still. Quick look at the scratches, but it's so hard to say with this team. I really don't know if we're gonna be good enough for sure or not. But I guess we're going to probably find that out pretty quickly here. Alright, so first game against the Rangers, we will jump into it here. First period, 0-0. Second period, 2-1 lead. Bunting and Carlson is a Benajed for them. And we end up walking away with a 5-2 win. So good, we had some offense there early on. Let's see if we can keep that up, or I don't know. We'll have to see what happens here. So, big win in the first game of the season. We will go out and switch the goalies here quickly since we have a back-to-back against Detroit. That is something you will find throughout the series. Do want to be very hands-on with that, and we will be making, those small adjustments. We are in no rush here. We will just get through things here as we get through it. So against the Wings, that is a loss in overtime. Keep Nedeljkovic in here against the Leafs. That is another loss, unfortunately. Go and switch the goalies here real quick. See if we can get a couple more wins with Jari. I don't think Ned played bad or anything. 9-2-6, yeah, that's not bad at all. Just not getting any goal support, unfortunately. Alright, so going against Montreal in Montreal here. Can we pick up another win? And we do. 3-2. Going up against the Buffalo Sabres now. That is a 5-2 loss, so still sitting at 500 here very, very early on. Against the Carolina Hurricanes, it's a big 5-3 win. Up against the Winnipeg Jets here in Winnipeg. That is another win in overtime. Beautiful. So I love now that we can actually just see the standings and stats on the side. Sitting second in the division, 7 games in, but it's good to see. Crosby leading the way for forward points, Carlson defensive points, and Draisaitl leading the league. Absolutely love that feature. I love that we have all that information right there. Still do want to jump into, the stats screen, break down everybody's performance, but it is a nice UI adjustment there from EA. Cody Glass early on, surprising, 4 points in 7 games. Anyone here at the bottom that shouldn't be? Brian Rust, 1 assist in 7 games, that's not great. Definitely keep an eye on him. O'Connor, that's not great, but is what it is. So, strong start to the season. Definitely just want to keep an eye on Rust. Other than that, it's not too bad early on. Big one against the Flames, 4-2. Sitting now with a record of 5-2-1 going against the Oilers here on our West Coast road trip. Huge one against the Oilers there by a score of 7-4. Switch out the goalies here since we do have another back-to-back. Get Nedeljkovic back in. And yeah, I think other than that, we are probably good to go. Rust did pick up 2 points there in 2 games. Again, we do want to watch him. He is on a longer contract with bigger money, so we definitely want to get him going if possible. Up against the Canucks, that is a 4-2 loss. Keeping the goaltenders here the same, at least for the moment. Against the Minnesota Wild, that is another loss, back-to-back, unfortunately. Still sitting at a record of 6-5-1 after we lose another game there, 3rd in a row. Switch out the goalies as Ned still looking for his first win. Not the best start to the season for him. And it is nice to see Jari picking up some of those wins as well. Again, we definitely want to try and get him going, as might not be the best signing long term. Crosby, they're absolutely crushing it. Let's maybe swap Rust and Raquel for now. I don't mind that. Just try something a little different. Try them on different lines. See if he can pick up the production playing with Malkin aside from Crosby. Who knows? So let's continue on here against the Montreal Canadiens. Second time we play them this season. Big win in the shootout, going up against a couple of divisional opponents here. It looks like actually at least 3 in a row here. Islanders, Capitals, and Hurricanes. So game up against the Islanders. Can we pull out a win? It's a big 5-1 loss, not great. Sitting 7-6-1. Lost to the Hurricanes as well, back to 500. Again, we need to keep up the consistency here. I know it's early in the season, but I don't know. I don't know how this team is going to end up performing in the long run here. Switch out the goalies. Yeah, Ned has had a tough start to the year. Blomqvist down there in the AHL, it's not great. Again, I don't know what we really want to do with goaltenders here. We do have a couple of options at least, which is nice. Going up against the Capitals, that's another 5-1 loss. Ned's numbers are not looking too good here, to say the least. Against the Stars, there we go. It's a nice 1-0 shutout for his first one of the year. Keep him in for the next couple of games here as we have a back-to-back coming up. Big loss there against the Red Wings and against the Jackets. Get another win here. Come on, guys. And he does get a win. Big 5-2 win. So we can switch out the goalies once again here. And we will get Jari back into the net. So we'll make that quick swap there. Anything else we want to really do here while we're on the lineups? Looking at the defense, -2, -4, -5, -5. Maybe switch Graves and Grzelcyk. Again, chemistry's still fine, and hopefully it'll make a small change there in the defensive pairings. We'll hopefully get those numbers up a little bit there. Up against the San Jose Sharks, that is another loss, falling below 500, 9-10-1. Against the Bolts, we're also struggling early on. Another loss back to back. Going up against the Jets and the Utah HC here. First off against the Jets, that is a win. Then just looking at the standings here, where are we sitting in our division? So we are sitting outside of the playoffs just barely. Crosby leading the way in points, which obviously is good to see. He is not dropping off just yet, but we need to start picking this up here a little bit. Don't love being around 500. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say. I want to win with this team, and I want to win with this group of guys. Obviously, a guy like Crosby, Malkin, Letang, they're not going anywhere. They have the clauses. They're staying here, and they will be retiring as Penguins. But, I want to try and win them another Stanley Cup here. Definitely getting a bit older in age, so don't have too much time to get that done with. But, I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Let's maybe try and load up the top line. I kind of wanted to keep it spread out the wealth a little bit, but not getting it done so far, so we need to make some changes. Honestly, maybe a guy like McGroarty could come up for Puljujarvi. Obviously, Puljujarvi doing decent in real life. In game, it's not amazing. McGroarty down there, 9 goals, 4 assists, 14 games. Honestly, he's 77 overall, but sometimes the creative players just, sim better for whatever reason, so let's give him a chance here. Worst case scenario, we just send him back to the AHL, but let's give him his shot in the NHL, just like he's seen early on in this season. Time of recording did end up getting sent back down, but, let's see how he does in game. Let's try and just kind of mix things up here. Don't want to keep the lineup entirely the same, especially if results aren't amazing. So Puljujarvi, you will sit for the moment. We'll get McGroarty in there, and then maybe try him on the second line. I want to make sure he is getting ice time. I want to make sure he's getting those good opportunities as well. So against Utah, let's start things out here once again with the sim. Big win to start things off. Going up against the Canucks, it looks like up next as we sit at NHL 500, 11-11-1. Against the Canucks here, that is a big loss, unfortunately. And going up against the Boston Bruins here, first half of the back-to-back is a 5-0 shutout loss. So it's not amazing going 1-2 in that little stretch. McGroarty actually went up to 78, interesting. 1 goal in 3 games. We'll give him a little bit more of an opportunity, but also don't want to wreck his rookie qualifications if he's not performing. Of course, if he is, we'll keep him. maybe try him up there with Crosby. I know he's a low overall, but playing with the two best forwards on this team should get some success there. So going up against the Calgary Flames here at home in Pittsburgh, that is a big win. There we go. I will take that by a score of 6-1. Going up against the Florida Panthers before we have once again another back-to-back. That is another 4-1 win. There we go. That's back-to-back. Love to see that. And first half of this back-to-back against the Rangers and then the Leafs coming up. That is a 4-1 loss. So again, sitting just below 500, 13, 14, and 1. Not really going one way. We're not out of it. We're not really in it either. 2 goals from McGroarty early on. We'll get Nedeljkovic back into the net. Anything else we really want to do at this point? Maybe Malkin really doing it on that line with Crosby. So I like having them split up. I like kind of having that dual attack. Obviously a problem that Edmonton has to deal with quite a bit as well with McDavid and Draisaitl. But, you know, I don't mind splitting them up for now. Hopefully getting offense out of 2 lines there. We'll get Bunting back on his proper side. And honestly, I think we're good to just continue on here. So tough game definitely against the Leafs. It is one of our grudge matches apparently. Big 3-2 win. Take that to start things off. Going up against the Colorado Avalanche here next. They're doing alright to start the season sim. Against the Avalanche, that will be a 5-4 loss. Another grudge match for us here up against the Montreal Canadiens. That is a 7-2 loss. Yikes. That is not great. Let's take a quick pause here. Maybe McGroarty isn't ready. Again, he is pretty low in overall. Let's see what his numbers have been ever since. Rutger, 2 goals, 1 assist, 9 games. Honestly, let's just send him down. Hasn't been bad, hasn't been good, but I think I'd probably rather him get that top line ice time where he's going to be, you know, overly succeeding down there than, you know, kind of being met at the NHL level, at least for now. Let's get Lazat back in there. He hasn't played at all this season yet. He had a pretty good preseason, if I remember it right, so I don't think it's going to matter too much, but who knows? We'll get him back in the lineup, see if he can make an impact for us. Goaltenders, switch those while we're here. We'll get Jari back in. Ned, 350 goals against average, sub 900 save. Honestly, do we maybe call up Blomqvist? I know his numbers aren't amazing. I'm kind of leaning toward that way. Let's put Larson in there. Let's put Blomqvist in the NHL just as a backup for now. He will get a couple of starts, but we'll leave Jari in as our primary starter for now. So Blomqvist, we will call you up from the AHL. You don't need waivers. That is fine. 77 overall, again, isn't insane. Won't be getting a ton of action right now, though. And the AHL looks fine from there. And then, yeah, Ned, you haven't cut it here early on. Your numbers are not looking very good. Blomqvist will take the backup role, at least for the moment. See what ends up happening. So going up against the Ottawa Senators now up next in the Canadian Tire Center. It is a 4-3 loss in overtime. Up now against the Los Angeles Kings. See if we can get a couple of points on the board against them. That is a 4-2 win. Awesome. Sitting 15, 16, and 2 now is our overall record. First injury of the year, Noel Achari on the 4th line. So I believe we can just probably put Puljujärvi into that spot for now. I think that should be alright, so we'll just get him substituted in there real quick. Back, and we'll be getting 4th line ice time. Perfect. So hopefully Achari's not out too long. Isn't the biggest deal. Win in overtime against the Predators there. Back at 500 up against the New Jersey Devils. Yeah, Achari's back. We'll leave it just for the moment in case there's any lingering injuries. 5-1 loss to the Devils. Up against the Flyers. Weird, it's not a grudge match. Interesting. That is a shootout loss. Is there no grudge match between the Flyers and Penguins? If not, that's definitely kind of odd, but yay. Looking at the standings here, it looks like we're 4 points back of the wild card. So it's not ideal. We're not out of it either, though. Back-to-back against the Islanders, a 7-1 loss. Wonderful, against a team that we are competing with here. So let's go and switch out the goalies here back to back. Give Blomqvist his first start, I'm assuming. Yeah, he just came in relief, I'm guessing, in that last game. Put up all right numbers. See if he can keep that up, or see if that was just too small of a sample size. So once again, up against the Islanders. That is a 4-3 loss. Back-to-back losses against them, teams you don't want to be losing to. Against the Red Wings, it's another loss. Sitting 16-20-3 now. That's not good. Is there anyone in free agency, any goalies in particular? We have 50 out of 50 contracts, we'd have to move someone, but yeah, it's Tokarski. That's it. He's the highest rated guy in free agency, so not really any help there, unfortunately. Unless we make a trade, we're going to kind of be stuck with our options. And probably not going to make any trades at least till next episode. We'll have to figure that out, but it does look like there might have to be some coming here. Let's get Blomqvist out of there. Let's get Ned back in. None of these guys have been great. Jari at least has been picking up, I'd say probably the most amount of wins for us. So end of the day, it's kind of what we need right now. So going up against the Panthers here in Florida. Can we get a win back on the board? And we do. Overtime. There we go. Can we continue that on here against the Carolina Hurricanes? Another grudge match for us. That is a 3-1 win. So that's not bad. That is our 41st game, so that's halfway through. That's kind of where I wanted to end things, sitting at a record of 18-20-3. So still a decent amount back of the Capitals there for that final wildcard spot. Let's look at some of the player stats here before we close things out for now. So Crosby still absolutely crushing it. 46 points, 41 games. That's awesome to see. Raquel -13, that stands out. Beauvillier, yeesh, -15. Eller, it's not great. It's not looking too amazing. Carlson still putting up lots of points, 40 points, only a -6. That's not bad. Aho, -14. Okay, so next episode we have to get him out, I think. And then goaltending wise, everyone has been horrible. Somehow Nedeljkovic is our best goalie save percentage wise. What is going on here? So we definitely have a problem here, just allowing too many goals. It's not good. So we're definitely going to have some decisions to make here next episode as we go to our contracts. Again, I showed this off earlier, but we have a couple of guys here that are going to be pending UFAs. And if we're not in contention here by the deadline, if not a little bit sooner, I think it's just best to ship these guys off. Let's get something back for them. Let's start the rebuild, and we can always sign more guys in free agency in the following summer to hopefully get us back in that contention window. But I don't know. They're going to have to really show that they want to make the playoffs here within at least the next couple of months as we go toward the trade deadline. So I think that is going to do it for today's first real official episode of our Pittsburgh Penguins franchise mode. Next episode, we will be taking things to the end of season 1. We'll go through the trade deadline, and we'll figure out what we want to get done in that episode. So that will do it for me here today. I will see you all in the next video.